Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on FTB Integration by Parts. Now starting off on today's episode, you may notice a couple changes. Got two guys living here in the house, and we're gonna have more as well. And we also have a couple new things. Those things being here in the factory. Yes, you may notice we now have the super alloyer controller, the machine. Now this bad boy allows us to make most of the alloys, I think most of them. We can just put them over here and they come out this way. We also have the metal press from immersive engineering. This allows us to have some plates without actually needing to go up to that other machine that we have all the way back at the other house. And you notice that, well, there's missing something here. Well, that's because I actually have the generator on me or something. I think I put it away. But we are actually getting power over here through this amazing block, the thermoelectric generator. Now, I believe this guy is not really doing anything here because we tested something and it wasn't doing anything. But yeah, we have the block of uranium, a thermoelectric generator, and blue ice, and boom, you get power. Now this guy is doing quite a lot of power. It powered this machine entirely. It's powering our metal press, and hopefully it's going to power a few other machines today. We also have this mini farm, for some animals. This is also pretty good to get some food and stuff like that. There's also, I have a horse. There it is. He just wanders. I gotta get him stuck somehow. And over here, I also made a tiny little farm. Now, I actually don't have a gate here, so we're gonna break in. And I planted rice, onions, green beans, tomatoes, spinach, wheat, flax, industrial hemp, eggplants, barley, and corn. There's a few other things that we could plant here. And we can also just go ahead and do this. Now, I don't like that some of the plants actually break themselves. I believe that all of the plants should replant them, like they should be replanted on their own. It's a little bit sad that they have to break the entire thing for no reason. And some of these are also very weird looking, but the reason that I wanted to farm all of these is so we can increase our HP with Spice of Life. Now you can see we haven't eaten most of these foods, which is very good for us. And all of these ones we already have. Now we're gonna have a better farming setup, but for now this will do. So on today's menu, we are gonna make the Peter Griffin. No, really, we're gonna make the Pete engine. This will allow us to generate even more power using bituminous peat. Now we can probably somehow automate this later down the line. Not so sure we can do it right now. And hopefully I would love to get the tugs here working, because they actually fish and get us some nuggets, so it might be a good way of getting some passive like iron and maybe gold. I don't know what kind of nuggets they do. So since we already have a power right now, we don't really need to delve into the Pete engine at the moment, so I'm gonna do the tugs first. Well, on a second thought, while looking at my resources, we probably need to start doing some machines first. Now we want to get more resources than what we're currently doing. Like, for example, if we have one iron ore, we get one iron ingot. I kind of want to double that. Now, in order to double that, the closest thing we have right now is the macerator. But we can do every single one of these items in the macerator except the electronic circuits. Now, these need a simple circuit assembly, which on itself needs a carpenter. And then it just uses some tin, some lead, circuit backplane. Like, we probably need to go ahead and do this as well, so we probably want to save some iron to do some iron dust and stuff like that. But if we want to get our hands on a carpenter, I do believe one of the best ways we can do this is by going here down to this section with a capsule corp, and then you want to look for the carpenter right here, and then it will give you the blueprint for the carpenter. Now if you left click, it tells you the items you need. So it's a very good way of actually seeing or getting yourself a list of what you need. So we need a carpenter fluid import, 8 copper sheet metals, 1 glass, 1 copper controller, 4 light engineering blocks, yada yada yada. You get where we're going. And as soon as you have every single thing, you left click it and it's going to absorb the items, and then you can actually see a ghost of the block, and then you place it down and it will place it down for you. Now for the carpenter, you actually have the quest on the return quest line. You actually have the quest, which makes it a little bit easier to understand like what items you need. But for example, I did a live stream, that's where all these machines popped up, by the way, where we made this and we used the blueprint to do this. And so here we go, we're now with all the things that we need to put on the carpenter. Now I think I want to put it somewhere over on this side. It is a little bit of a bigger block. Now I don't see the power input. I'm guessing it will be from the top. So actually I might just place it over here, because I believe it's going to be one of those that we might just use quite a little bit. So yeah, there we go. Boom. Now hopefully the power is actually from the top. Yeah, it seems to be, though I can't quite see it. And so we're now just starting to craft up all of the ingredients. I connected the power from over there. We did get a tank of lead, which I poured in the back. Now we got 4,000. I don't even know how much that's gonna be, because I do believe that the recipe that we're about to make uses as much as 48. So we could do a lot of these. That's why I'm making a lot of electron tubes. I got a lot of tin plates. Now we need to do a lot of these circuit backpoints, which needs copper plates and insulating glass. So this is the next part. Now what we do is we go over here, and I do have some excess resources, but hopefully it goes all right. And you can see it's starting to work, and it's giving us our simple circuit assemblies. Now with these guys we can actually start making machines over here, which is amazing. Now with the rubber, if I get some more slime, we can get tons and tons of rubber. But this actually means that I kind of need to automate this, like the getting of the rubber somehow. And there is a way. No, not this one, but this, the blood. Now this requires normal blood. Now how can we get blood? As you can see, zombies in here drop blood in the smeltery, and I do intend on making a mob farm, and that mob farm will have, guess what, a smeltery, which will be killing the mobs. So that's what we'll be doing in terms of actually mob killing. And now that we got our 32 simple circuits, I can now go ahead and make ourselves a macerator. But first, before we get the macerator, there's a more important machine, which is the extruder. Now with this, we should be able to craft a couple of these. Now go into here and grab the extruder. Now I don't have the proper place to place them right now. I will ideally be placing these machines along here, but I guess for now I can place them somewhere around here, and then just bring these cables down onto the machines. And this extruder will be using some copper plates to give us some copper wires. So let's go ahead and start producing that. Now we do need more copper, so we'll quickly go back to the other base and do more copper. And just like this, we got ourselves some copper wire. Now for some reason these cables don't actually work with this. I don't know why, but yeah, power cables don't really work with industrial contraptions, so we're gonna keep ourselves with the MVs and the LVs from the industrial contraptions. And now with everything ready to go, we got ourselves a macerator. Now the macerator can actually, I believe all the other machines can go like hand to hand with this, but ideally you use the cables to just spread around your energy. And so I went ahead and crafted all these little boats. Now we did a couple for quests, and I also made a couple extra auto fishing barges. Now, in order for the little logistics mod to work, you kind of needed a few extra things. Now, one of those things are barge docks. They do give you the tug dock. You'll need some vessel chains, and you'll need, I mean, you don't need this one, but I'm gonna use this one, the guide rails. So I make sure that my vessels do what they're, well, intended to do. Plus, you want a tug route, because this will be, well, this is what's gonna like move around your tug, because if you just place it in the water, it's not gonna do anything without this. And I'm actually gonna put the chunk loader on, because I'm gonna send this guy into the ocean and then back to me. Of course, I needed a bunch of resources. I went mining, and now we have the setup working with this basic generator powering the macerator in a powered furnace. And I just put the things here with some overclocks that they give you, and it's basically putting me back into the good graces of the ores, because now I have like this chest filled with some things that I can smelt whenever I need, and I can like handle my progression a little bit better. Though I think you can still do a little bit something extra with this, right? Yeah, for example, if we move into Astral Sorcery, 1 iron ore actually gives you 3 iron ingots, so it's a little bit better. We're at 2 at the moment, and we also have the iron clumps, which I believe we can do something with. Yes, we can do the ore washer, but this doesn't only give me, yeah, but this needs petroleum. That's why I didn't want to go for that thing. And I think that's pretty much it for options. I believe the next one in line would be Astral Sorcery, or maybe even the Blood Magic, because you can also get 3 out of these. But I believe that's like the main options. So you might be wondering, how do these little guys actually work? Well, for starters, you need the steam tugboat, or of course the energy tugboat, but this guy is a little bit out of the question right now, because we need to kill some blazes. Wait, we don't? Oh, I thought we needed some blazes. Oh, we actually don't, so we might want to go ahead and try and replace this in a second as well. So we can actually make this one, because this one, if it runs on power, I don't need to feed it coal or anything else. So this will be our starting dock. Now you might be wondering, well, what are these guys? What's all of this? Well, basically we have our barge docks over here and our tug dock over here. Now what all of these do is pretty simple. The tug dock is the one, well, that stops your tug and tells it what to do. Now, one of the cool things about the tug dock is that if you put a hopper in here, it immediately turns into the place where the tug will be. So if I went ahead and placed down the coke, whenever my tugboat comes here, it will get refueled with whatever is inside this hopper. And then you have this one. These are the barge docks, which are basically the ones that will have my fishing barges. And these guys work a little bit different. Now, on their own, they actually don't take the items out of your docks or out of your barges. So what you need is you have some hoppers underneath here that will do it for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that up. And so this is what I went with. I went to and used these wood storage crates, and basically if we go down here, we have the hoppers facing into some item pipes. The item pipes are meant to send the items up, and then they will be put into these storage crates. Now onto the little boy itself, the steam tug. Now if you right click on the water, it immediately places the tug on its own, which is, well, what you want ideally. And then what you want to be doing is, of course, if you open the inventory, you can see there's a space for the tug route and there's a space for some fuel. Now the tug route is a bit tricky to set up, because for example, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna click, I'm actually gonna click a little bit further here, and as you can see, it recognizes this as being, well, node 0. So this is the first node out of the line. Now he will go in the circle, but what I will do is I'm actually going to tell him, well, this will be another node that you have in your line, and then I want him to start curving out and this is where you go, and it will actually go into the center of the block you're facing. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna set up a route. On the ocean, I don't really need to worry about position that much, but whenever I'm getting back here, we do need to worry a little bit of position, so we can actually curve and have a gentle way of coming into the docks, or else you can like get stuck here. And actually, let's go ahead and do this real quick. You can notice that these guys are, well, they're equal at this moment, but that's not what we want, because this is actually saying to the tugboat, well, if you hit here, you actually are meant to go this way, but this one is saying to go that way. And if you need to change this, well, shift right click, and you can see that now both telling it to go into this middle block and do what it has to do. Now you can see all the nodes I did. You can see it goes from there, it goes all around this tiny little island, and then it comes back into here with a soft curve, which is not really that soft. Ideally I will remove a little bit of this land and make it come a little bit cleaner in, but I think with these blocks he'll be just fine. Now, what you want to do with your tugboat then is, if you give it the tug route, and let's give him a piece of the actual power. So let's give him a coal coke, for example. That should do the trick real quick. If I just give him that, you can see he's going to start and actually fit right into here. Now it's going to dock here a little bit. As you can see, it's starting to take in the items from the hopper. I don't really know how much time he spent here. I don't know if he needs to be fully like unloaded. Yep, there he goes. And now he's just going on its way. Now I'm actually gonna go ahead and catch him real quick. So you can just go ahead, and you can see he has half HP, and you can just break him. No big deal. We got everything we needed out of him. Now what we need to do now is actually attach or auto fishing barges, because it's not going to do fishing on its own, right? So I'm actually going to go ahead and go a little bit further back, and I'm going to go ahead and grab all of these things that we have. So one auto fishing barge, another, and another, and a chest, and a chunk loader. I'll leave the chunk loader last. Now we need to connect these together. This is where these chain vessels come in. I believe you shift right click one, and you shift right click that one, and you do it on all of these. Now if you do this like so, it will link everything together, and now the boat is actually a cool boat. And if you put all of these together, it's probably just gonna start going in very smoothly. You can see the fishing nets retract, which is pretty cool, and they all sync up with their depositing. He has nothing to deposit, so he's gonna do nothing here, so it's just gonna move on with its life. Now he's gonna go with that route I set him up for, and hopefully we'll start getting in some fishes in these crates. Now, one more quick thing that you need to worry about with your boat. If you have the chunk loader, well, you don't need to worry about where he's going, because he's going to be chunk loading a 3x3 area around him. But you do need to pay attention to magma blocks. Yes, now, if there's any type of magma blocks, he will get sucked down and it will get stuck. And it will just break itself, and then you'll lose all your things. And I got a guy hitting me. And the same goes for soul sand. They do not like soul sand at all. So if you have soul sand or magma blocks near you, you should really not make the tugboat go there, because it's gonna struggle. Now hopefully I set everything up right, and you should dock. You should wait a little bit, and you should start unloading and giving me fish. Yes, you can see, you can even right click and you can see the items that are being sent here. And of course this guy actually picks up the nuggets. I don't really know what I can put in this chest barge. I don't know if I can put more fuel and he's gonna use it. And did it? Yep, there we go. Now we got quite a lot of cod and salmon from this, and we also get some nuggets. Now we get silver, copper, gold, iron, and lead, which is pretty good. We also get some tripwire hooks, some string, and some lily pads. Oh, okay, so there's actually a use for lily pads. That's great. Now the pufferfish, I don't really know if there's anything great with him. Maybe there is. Guess we'll find out later. We can sell it to the fisherman for some things, and I can actually eat him for some snacks. Well, I kind of had to upgrade this thing a little bit with some drawers, and because this was getting like a bunch of items, and luckily for us, this actually gives us some enchanted books and some enchanted fishing rods and stuff like that. So I could still put a few drawers for the sticks, the tripwire hooks, the nautilus shells, and the poles, and the rest would, well, be stored. Now I would love to have a way to sort these things out. Maybe what I can do is use some pipes from the pipes mod with a filter, and maybe we can get like sort out like the fishing rods and the books, and the rest can actually go. Yeah, this is something that I wanted to check. We can actually use the chest here to just put some random items in, and it would actually transport it from one dock to the other. Well, this is only one dock, but if there was another dock, this will like import things and then output things on another one. So that's why the chest is there right at the moment. We don't really need it, but yeah, as you can see, we have a stack of nuggets. We have another stack of nuggets. Got 44, 34, 25, 49. We got a bunch of fish. I might need some void upgrade soon for some of these things, but yeah, as you can see, we're getting a couple of things going now. This is very good, but we do need to deal with another major issue. That major issue is our not very good storage, as you can probably tell. That will hopefully be fixed right now, because I want to start work on a couple of things. Now, if you take a look at our quest line, this is actually this area over here, which is the simple storage. Now, first of all, we need to start up with some network cables and then as network route. So I went ahead, did a little bit of crafting over here, and now I'm gonna make 4 windmills. Now these will allow us to have passive generation of power for these machines, and I do need to relocate them, so I'm probably going to relocate all of these industrial machines over here, which then means I kind of need to put these guys going outside. Now I'm not sure if they're going to actually have power inside. Yeah, as you can see, they do have a little bit of an issue here. So if we go outside, maybe we get a little bit lucky. Yeah, so unfortunately, the windmill seems to be a little bit bugged at the moment. I think they should be fixing it next patch, or I hope so. But nevertheless, we will probably use it quite a little bit, because we can't mix immersive engineering power with industrial contraptions, so we kind of need to have them separate. So we kind of need power for the industrial, then immersive engineering, and power for the industrial part. Now the immersive engineering one actually powers these machines, these multi-block machines, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. And the power cables actually connect to these guys, which is makes it even better for us. The only thing is these guys need their separate thing, so we're probably gonna have their own building with their own power supply, and everything else would run on these, on power cables, and probably on immersive engineering power. And with all that said, guys, we kind of did a lot of progression right now, and very important things. And I also set up a mini rubber tree farm manual with this tinker's bronze axe that I had to do, so it cuts the entire tree pretty easily. You just need to break one block and then cut this one from the bottom, and the tree goes away. And this is actually the way I'm getting my rubber at the moment. So we kind of need to automate wood as well, so maybe we can get to that in the next episode. Not so sure about that. But with all that said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't, and see ya in the next one. Bye.